Hello, lovelies. This is 5 Minute Manifesting, and I'm your host, Lovey Brown. Thank you so much for listening. I'm thrilled that you're here, and today I wanted to talk to you about, I don't want to call it a technique, but it's just sort of an illustration of a visual that you can keep in your mind while you are manifesting something. And so, do you know, I just had this image come in my head, and do you know in the movies, especially like maybe movies in the 80s and the 90s, had like a montage scene, like to kind of speed up the plot. And so the point would come in the movie where the main character would have a goal, and their goal was sort of being thwarted through the plot of the movie, right? And there came a point where that main character made a decision. Oh, I'm really going to go for this. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to make myself vulnerable. This is what I want. I'm declaring, and I'm going to do all the things that I need to do to do this, right? And so the one I am thinking of right now, and there's lots of these, right? It was a very common thing to have in movies. And so the one I'm thinking of is the one in The Cutting Edge where, she wanted to win a gold medal. She was a figure skater, a partner figure skater. And she was kind of prickly and hard to get along with and spoiled. And so she had run off all her partners. And her coach came up with the idea of, what if we got this guy who used to be a hockey player, he can skate, what if we trained him? And so they go get him. And they have a rough start. They're getting to know each other. And then they have the montage scene, right? Where they're really going to go for this gold medal. Their goal is set. They're going to get a gold medal in the Olympics. And they start doing all the stuff. They do the workouts. They do the skating. They get, they do their new uniforms for their skating. And they do all of this in a montage. But all of the little scenes in that montage is them committing to that goal. And so the reason I'm telling you this, there's often something like that in our manifesting journey. So when we first come to manifesting, now they had that goal all along, right? The goal of winning the gold medal, at least for Kate, the figure skater, right? She had wanted that, her father had wanted that for her rather, her whole life. And that's what she had been working towards. And it just kind of hadn't happened yet. And that is often how it feels when we're manifesting, right? Like maybe you've wanted a romantic relationship with your specific person for a really long time. Maybe you've wanted financial freedom for a really long time and you've just been living life and it's going along. And then something has made you turn to find information about manifesting. And you found it, right? Like you're listening to this podcast, you're probably listening to other creators. Maybe you're getting coaching somewhere. Like you're doing the things, right? But at the beginning of that process, it's like so much and it's so overwhelming. And you're just intaking all of this information, right? Like kind of like in the Cutting Edge, the movie that I'm referencing, the hockey player, he's just learning about figure skating. But really when they start that montage scene, he's really committed to the gold medal too. And so there comes a moment where you switch from just getting a hang of what the content is saying, just from consuming content, to really committing to, this is my goal. This is what I want. This is what I'm manifesting. And your identity shifts a little in that moment. And what you want is through your own montage scene, your own sort of actions, your own sort of, and their internal actions, right? The sort of posture and internal actions of your internal world. You want your manifestation. And that I think illustrates what it is. And so there has to be this moment of changing from, you're just consuming content, you're just listening to the information, you think you may be doing it, you're not totally sure, to where you're like, no, absolutely not. I am a manifester. I'm going to get this. And you start really committing to your internal actions, and that can be whatever it is. It can be whatever manifesting technique. It can be whatever sort of thing you choose based on what you believe about manifesting. And so, you can commit to doing your affirmations for 5 minutes a day, 3 times a day. You can commit to scripting before bed. You can commit to visualizing before bed. You can commit to just running robotically your affirmations all day long whenever you think about it. Those are examples of focusing techniques, but this is where the rubber meets the road, as we used to say, and it's where you're switching from just learning about this to really applying it, and that's the shift you're going to make. That's the shift you want to make, and I think that's why I wanted to make this episode, is because you really do at some point have to shift. You have to shift from just sort of flailing around, and I'm not saying that any of you are doing that, but from just being like, I don't really get it. And there's nothing wrong with wherever you are today, right? So don't hear that as judgmental. Don't hear that as an issue or a problem. It's not. It's not a problem at all. But at some point, you really do have to apply what you're learning, because the person who's going to manifest for you is you. You are the operant power in your reality. You are the one that are going to think the thoughts. You are the one that is going to feel the feelings. You are the one who is worthy of your manifestation. And you are worthy of exactly what you want. You are enough. And so in this moment, I want to encourage you, please choose yourself. Please if you haven't gotten to this moment yet, or if you are in a place where you need to repeat that moment, because I find myself very often needing to remind myself of these things. It's honestly why I make this podcast, is like, I make this for me so I can really stay accountable to my own manifesting and my own life of getting what I want. And so with that, I'm going to leave it to you. So may you manifest exactly what you want.